Hi, I'm Diana Rice, and I'm here with Mr. Schmalbach, giving you guys an update on the Chromebooks. Hi, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
So what has changed from the beginning of the school year about the Chromebooks?
So when we initially started the Chromebook rollout at the beginning of September, everyone got their Chromebook, and then from that day till the first week of October, if you needed Chromebook help, you dealt with it during your lunch period, and there were IT people in the cafeteria to help with issues. But we migrated the help area, so to speak, from just lunches and the cafeteria up to the library, and anyone can come at any time to get their issues dealt with.
Okay, and who can you talk to about the repair? Is there like a certain person that's like in
Yeah,
charge?
mainly me. So if you come in and you have an issue where there's a problem with your Chromebook, and depending on what the issue is, either myself or the library assistant, Mrs. McKay, can help you with the problem. Usually bigger broken problems I will deal with, and then we determine what the issue is and then what needs to happen from there. And there's lots of different things that can go wrong or what a student needs, so we deal with each issue as it comes.
So what would happen if I were to break my screen, for example?
So breaking the screen is a common problem, and basically what you do is you would bring the Chromebook to me. I determine that it's in fact cracked, and it's not too difficult to figure that out because it looks like a pretty kaleidoscope of broken,
Yeah.
cracked
Yeah.
colors on the screen. And then what happens is the student actually has to put in what we call a help desk ticket, which is the system that the IT department uses to track all of the what we call assets, so all of the computers and things in the school, and then as well as the users. And then so you would go in, you have an account, you choose your Chromebook, you explain what the problem is. I take that Chromebook, put a little tag on it, put the number of the help desk ticket, and then I put it in a bin. The IT person in the building, Mr. Ganito, he stops by periodically throughout the day, and he'll look in the bin and say, oh, there's something in there that needs to be fixed. He grabs it, and then he fixes it. Screens are one of those things that once he grabs it, it usually doesn't take too long to get it replaced.
And would that same like process happen if I were to lose my Chromebook, or is that a whole different process?
It's a similar process. What ends up happening there is you have to come to me. I have a form for lost or stolen Chromebooks. And there you fill out your student information, ID number, the number of your lost Chromebook. If you don't know it, I can look it up, and then explain what the situation is behind the loss. So was it just you had it in period 5, but by period 8 you couldn't find it? Was it you left it somewhere, when you went back it was gone? That gives us some information to help track it. Then I take that information, we again create a help desk ticket, and then we report that up to the IT department, up at administration, and then it gets the item gets disabled. So the Chromebook gets disabled. So when a person turns it on, it'll pop up with a red screen, and it says, "This has been reported lost or stolen. Please return it to the school district." And the thing there is that the Chromebook then is useless. So you can't log in on them with a non-NAHS account anyway. So it's
Right.
not like you can just use your Gmail account on it. Since they are enrolled to our school, they won't work like that for anybody outside of the school. So what we've seen happen for the few that have gone missing is most of them have come back once we've done that process. We can see where a Chromebook was last logged on in the building, but we can't really track them like, say, your cell phone. It doesn't have GPS built into
Right.
it. But the disabling process is a big help in that, because once people see that it's useless, they mysteriously turn up. Or what's I think more often happens is that Chromebooks get mixed up. You think you have yours, it actually is your friend's. They reported it missing. Then you open it up, and now suddenly it's disabled. You're like, what's going on? And then we figure it
Yeah.
out, and we get things back to where they're supposed to be.
So stolen and lost, would that all fall like under the same category?
The process is the same. The only difference between stolen and lost is we can't consider a Chromebook stolen unless there's actually a police report filed. So if
Right.
if you're certain that it really was stolen. Say you left the bag in front of your house, and when you went back, the bag actually is now missing. You would need to go and file a police report. And you go to the police department, you explain what happened, you file an official report. We need a copy of that report, and then that actually says that it's been officially reported as stolen. Other than that, it's just missing.
So that would be something that the student would have to do on their own,
Yes,
correct?
since the student is the one that had it, and then it went missing or was stolen from them, they're the ones that would have to file the report.
Okay, and for the report part, or like where the screen is damaged or something like that, how long would that take? Do you have an estimate?
It depends on what the issue is. Screens don't really take that long to replace, like no more than a half an hour, because you have to just take apart the things, put it back together. It all does, though, depend when it can be gotten to, because there's more than Chromebooks as far as technology things go in the building that need to be dealt with. So, IT has many different things that they need to fix and repair. So Chromebooks, it doesn't always get dealt with immediately. So the key thing is that students really need to bring a broken Chromebook to us. We cannot do anything if we don't have it.
Right.
And unfortunately, sometimes when I'm lending ones out, I'll ask a student, so where's yours? Oh, it's broken. Okay, well, bring it back to us. It's like we'll get it taken care of, but we can't do anything if it's not there. Now, we had a problem with some of the new ones where the Chromebooks went into an update cycle and then they wouldn't come out of it. Those actually had to go back to the company. So those were gone for a couple of weeks or longer. And once they were repaired again, they came back. But we have loaners that we can give to somebody to use until theirs comes back from repair.
And what would you say is your most common problem with the Chromebooks, or the most common
Right
damage?
now, the most common problem that comes to us is that the Chromebook simply will not turn on. And I actually found out recently that it's a bug in the Chrome operating system, and with the Dell Chromebooks that we just bought, there is a little problem where they kind of go into this sleep mode and then they go into a hibernate mode, and they will not wake up with the power button. They often won't even wake up if you put a power cord in. You have to put a power cord in and then hit a key combination of power and refresh, and then that wakes it up. It takes literally 30 seconds to fix, but if you don't know that, or you don't have your power cord with you, you're going to be stuck, and the Chromebook is going to look like it's completely dead. But usually it comes back on, and most of the time it's actually like fully charged, so it's not a power issue. It's simply a problem in the programming that it tells it to go into this hibernate mode when it's not supposed to. So that's by far the most common problem.
And would you say that this problem happens often, or?
Sure, it does.
Like daily?
So yeah, it does. And like I said, it's a simple enough one to fix. And then when people come in, I explain what to do to keep that from happening again. Usually we don't see them again, even if the problem is happening. And Dell and Chrome or Google are working on a fix for the operating system error. So at some point there will be an update to the operating system pushed out on the Chromebooks that will alleviate the problem. Then we just won't see it anymore. That's like maybe the most common. Then the next most common is simply not having the Chromebook charged.
Right.
So and there's a real simple fix to that. Put it on the charger. There's very easy. One of the things that we get requests for is to borrow chargers, and we do not lend out chargers from the library, because there's no real way to track them, and they're small, they disappear, they get confused with others. So we have chargers behind our desk in the library. So what we'll do is we'll take one that needs to be charged, we'll put it on the charger, and then we'll give a loaner to that person, and they can come back. Like, usually it takes about 2 periods to get a full charge, and then we'll switch it back. So that's another very common issue, is just that it's not charged and they need to use it, and it's dead as a brick. So.
And aside from the most common issues, what's one of the weirdest things that you've seen?
The strangest thing I saw, and it actually happened twice, was it wasn't that the problem was a broken screen, and that wasn't what was strange. What was strange was how it broke. That somebody took their cell phone and put it inside the Chromebook and then closed the lid to carry the Chromebook
Yeah.
upstairs. And I'm like, it's not a piece of paper, it's a big, thick
Yeah.
phone, and it just smashed, and then it smashed the screen. Like, well, it's going to
Yeah.
because you just shoved the thing in it. You know, that was just a little like, I don't know why you thought that was a good idea, but don't do it again. And you know, we don't have the problem after that. But yeah, it's like, don't shove anything in between the screen
Yeah.
and the keyboard. It's not a good idea. And then one of the other things that people need to keep in mind is that we gave bags for a reason. The bags are cushioned, they have a rigid plastic sleeve on either side of it so that it protects that Chromebook. And what I see a lot of students doing, and I can understand this, is they're putting their Chromebook directly in their book bag. It's more convenient, but if you don't also have that carry bag in the book bag, which is how I carry mine, because all the teachers got Chromebooks as well, and yeah, that little bag is kind of inconvenient, but I put the bag in your book bag and then stick the Chromebook in that, and that protects it. Because the problem is that all the books and things that are in a book bag, especially smaller things like calculators and stuff, it presses up against the back of the computer screen, and it makes this pressure point. And when you have this pressure point, that's where the crack happens, because it flexes a little bit, and the plastic backing on the computer is not that strong, and the screen is glass. Like, it's glass sandwiched between a bunch of things that keep it from breaking, but it will eventually break. So that's something that people need to keep in mind. Like, you really need to use the bag and protect the computer, then it's not going to break.
Okay, well, that's all I have for you today.
Very
Do you
good.
have anything else to add?
You know, no, just that the rollout's been pretty successful. We haven't seen, as a percentage of the students, we haven't seen more than maybe 2% of students having any of these major problems, so that's been good. So I think, you know, people are being responsible, and we just want to make sure that people are, you know, especially with the carrying the Chromebook in the book bag, you know, be careful. Make sure that, you know, your big book is what's pushed up against the Chromebook and the Chromebook bag in your book bag, because that's going to distribute all that pressure against the entire Chromebook instead of these little pressure points that cause the cracks. But other than that, you know, just plug them in at night. You know, charging is an important thing. Make it a part of your habit, and then you won't have that problem.
Okay, well, thank you. You guys heard him. If you guys have any problems, please go see Mr. Schmalbeck in the library. Back to our host.